All right, we'll start with Michael McCall.
Hey there, Mark. How you doing today?
Good, Michael, and you?
I'm good. You've had a couple of days now to kind of look over, well, I guess a day to look over the game on Sunday. Any different thoughts that you've taken out of it, or where do you feel the game was maybe lost?
Yeah, no, it's easier to speak about the game 2, 3 days later. We think that we created enough opportunities to at least tie the game. You know, there's three big opportunities out of corner kicks and two in the run of play and that Daybet created. I think there we had to score at least one of them. I think that the penalty shot on Caio, the foul on Caio that led to the call on the penalty shot is I would say a little bit disturbing that it's Alan Chapman that called it, and he said it was a clear and obvious error. We don't see that at all. It's the rules are clear. It needs to be clear and obvious, and Alan called the referee to look at the VAR in a play to almost question if he had to send off Lucas Cavallini, and then he called to take the penalty shot away. I think it's not the first time that we have incidents like that with Alan, and I just think that right now it was time for me to say something publicly because it's not the first time. It looks like there's something that maybe is not comfortable with us, or I don't know. I think that we had to do a better job dealing with transition moments. Colorado, it was a team that is very quick in transition, and we had to take the space away quicker. And that's where they were dangerous against us. And I think that the team improved so much in the last year on retaining possession in the opponent's half, having the ball in the opponent's half. We expand ourselves because of our possession, but then we have to grow in our movements to create opportunities to unbalance defenses that are set right now. We find much more solutions when we're in transition moments than when we're set in our possession, that it's more difficult to unlock blocks. But again, I thought we did enough to at least get a point in the game that we didn't get. But right after the game, we were very focused already on preparing the game against Montreal.
I hadn't planned to ask you this, but since you brought it up, and I don't want to dwell obviously too much on the refereeing, but when a referee's been called over by VAR and has already overruled VAR, it does take quite a ballsy referee to then do that for a second time in the game. Do you feel that maybe played into it?
Maybe, but for me, VAR talks a lot. The wording is very clear. It has to be a clear and obvious error. It's like that. FIFA states it like that. It's incredibly clear, and it's not clear and obvious. So the decision of the ref has to stay. For me, what's uncomfortable, it's a lot with Alan, and if I see him in the street, I'm gonna be nice with him, good with him, but I don't understand. It's a lot of calls like that. Even the sending off of Eric Godoy last year in San Jose was with him, and Eric got sent off, and then we appeal it, and we were right in our appeal, and we won the appeal, and it's not the first time. So if it was with different scenarios and different people, when it's always the same, I start to become a little bit, it's weird for me. I'm just saying, look, I don't want to say anything to get in trouble, but I'm gonna say this. It's very weird for me that it's always the same person. And man, if he saw that it's a clear and obvious when Acosta has his hands all over Caio, he has his hands all over Caio. And then that's not a foul, but the foul of Bikel that led to a free kick for Rubio, it's a foul. It's look, but that's another part of the game. I told you about the chances we missed. I told you about when we're building in the opponent's half, how we have to be better on getting around them and creating goal situations. I told you about dealing with transitions when we're playing a team that is lower and we're higher on the field and they're more of a counter-attacking team. But also part of the game was calls that were not good.
Just one more from me, just kind of moving on then from that. You talked about chances created. It did feel a couple of times, especially some crosses that Daber sent into the box, that the midfield maybe weren't attacking those crosses as much as they should. Towards the end of the game, there was a ball that came in and there was nobody really attacking the box. Is that a big thing you need to kind of work on now, looking forward to Montreal?
Yeah, but Michael, not only the runners in the box, I also think that we've been crossing a lot when defenses are set. And when defenses are set, it's easier. They face the ball. It's easier to defend. We have to be more aggressive in the type of balls that we put in when defenses are not set. That means when they're running towards their goal, if we could play balls around them and behind them, we're not doing that enough. We have a lot of the ball in the opponent's half. We've been doing well in possession. I think we've outpossessed Portland, and for sure we outpossessed Colorado. We improved in the amount of passes we have in the opponent's half. But now when we get in those spots, we need to attack them when they're not set, defending their box and trying to be more patient on the ball, looking for the pass that is going to allow us to get in behind them. We're looking too much for the perfect ball when they're already set. And sometimes when you attack defenses that are not set yet, you see balls that you don't need 20 guys in the box. You have one guy and that one guy could get into it, or you have defenders now attacking their goal, and now you have own goals. You have balls that lead to corner kicks. Look, we've improved as a team, but now we have to think about, okay, what's the next level for us in that chapter?
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Michael. We'll go to Gemma.
Hi, Mark. Thanks
Hi,
so much
Gemma.
for doing this today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Obviously, CF Montreal is a team that looks entirely different from last season. What have you made of their start to the year?
A similar start to ours, but they play a different way that we do. They have a lot of experience, and they have young players mixed with that experience. A lot of new guys in the league, but we know the qualities of the new guys. We know their strengths. We know their weaknesses. They also know us very well. It's always an interesting game and always a rivalry when you play against any Canadian team. Yeah, it's a team. We know their strengths. We know how they are. We know the new players they brought in. It's players that we also heard about before. And we have a good idea of how they could come here and try to win the game. And we also going to be prepared to win the game us.
They were very defensively sound last week against Columbus. How do you go about kind of breaking down that kind of a defense? That's
how they are. They were also like that against Nashville. They normally, when they're defending deeper, they're with a line of 5. 2 midfielders plus Mihailovic that comes in between them. Then very dangerous in transition. The players they have in transition always create problems to any opponent. They did a lot of that in the game against Toronto in the first game. But then they're a team that knows exactly what they want to do. It's still, I see still similarities from what Thierry Henry was doing last year. And I think Will is a smart guy, and Will working with Henry, he felt that probably he's going to slowly change and bring his idea with time, but without disrupting everything right away, because there's a lot of good things that were being done. And yeah, I don't want to be here breaking down too much publicly what they're about, because then I know they hear what I say and I hear what they say. So look, I expect a lot of similarities from the first 3 games. Now, what's tough to see is the games they play in Florida, because there's a huge heat and humidity factor there, and sometimes it slows down the game. So if you see Montreal playing in Florida and sometimes you think some actions are slow, it could be related with the temperature also. So I know the profile of the players and the quickness and the speed they have, and we have to be aware of that.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Gemma. We'll go to Jay now.
Marc, good afternoon, sir. Last week you told us heading into the match against Colorado that you expected set pieces to play a role, and sure enough, you know, Rubio scores just an absolute beautiful goal. Can you break that goal down for me, just as a soccer man, and how much you admired it? I know it ended up beating you guys, but I've watched the highlights again today, and no matter what Max could have done, he couldn't get to it. For me, that just seemed like the perfect strike. Can you break it down and admire it for me, Marc?
Yeah, they are first, to get that set play, you need an action to occur and something to happen. And we thought we could have won the ball before their transition moment. We could have done a better job there. Then there's a transition against us, and the ref calls a foul that wasn't a foul, and Namli does a great job of also exaggerating on how much he got hurt. And it's experience. It's not honest in the play, but it's a lot of experience from him. And then the free kick is in a very good area. I know Diego very well. I know the quality of his shot. Our wall was ready. We know that he also hit the ball sometimes under the wall. So we were aware of that. And I think the way he hits it, it's absolutely perfect. Like you said, it's not a goal that we could point something at the wall, point something at the goalkeeper. It's just perfect technique, very well hit. And free kicks are like that, when you hit them well and over the wall, it's very fast for a goalkeeper to react and get there. So his strike was perfect. And again, games against Colorado, games against Portland, games against teams that are more as a set block and transition oriented, or games where set plays become incredibly important. But we had a lot of chances on set plays too. There's Dajo Mezeder in the first half. There's Ranko Zeder that the goalkeeper saves it pretty much on the line. And then there's a free header, also came from a corner kick for Dajo, that he just heads it over the crossbar. Those 3 are clear chances for us to score. So yeah, we were aware of those moments. I think we did a good job defending corner kicks and defending wide free kicks, but unfortunately, that strike from Diego was perfect.
Marc, watching you guys, you've done a pretty good job executing, though, when you have had your set pieces, 2 of your 3 goals coming off of either a corner or free kick, and then, of course, from the spot, the penalty kick. Do you like how you've executed? And is there anything that you can improve on in terms of also scoring off the run of play, like you mentioned earlier when you were chatting with Michael?
Yeah, that's a great point. Look, I can't be more happy than where we are when it comes to set plays. Even before the first game against Portland, we scored against Chicago when we won 3-2, and the last exhibition game, 2 of the 3 goals were on set plays. Then the win against Portland is a set play goal. The 2 And the goal that was disallowed against Portland was also a set play. The 2 goals against Toronto are set plays. The opportunities, 3 of our big 5 opportunities against Colorado all come from set plays. But it's an area that we spent a lot of work in, an area that the staff, everybody here has spent video in training, preparing, sharing clips with the players. We spend a lot of time on that. So it's good that that work is being brought onto the field. Now, our next step is not only have set plays as a weapon, but when we have so much of the ball in the opponent's half, how do we go about it? How do we create for us? And that's an area where we need to grow still.
How do you do that, Mark?
In training is that what I could control is in training that we find solution through exercises, showing the players. Today we showed a lot of clips that were moments of us in possession in the last third and plays that we didn't see, players that were open, and we could have played 1-2 to get in behind, and we didn't because we looked for the cross in the back post, just improving that decision-making aspect.
Thank you, sir. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay. We'll go to Alex.
Hey, Mark. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Alex.
Okay. Sorry if there's any drilling in the background. My neighbor's doing some drilling, but just wanted to ask about Andy Rose first. Obviously, he's been, very, very strong to start the season. Still only his second year playing center back. What are your thoughts on his start to the season?
I think we were never surprised based on the signs that Andy showed last year, playing in that position, that it was a good transition for him as a player. He reads the game well. He's smart with the line, so he understands the positional play. He communicates well with the guys. And he's aware that in that position, the level of competition is very high, right? Ranko has been playing with Andy, but we still have players like Derek or Eric Godoy outside that are getting ready and want to have a chance. But now, in a week like this one, where you play against Montreal, Minnesota, and Kansas City, it's a big week. And in a week like that, you need to make sure that you have everybody ready. But Andy, knowing the game and being an experienced player inside a younger group, brings something to the team. But I think that he's still a player that is still growing even in that position. It's too bad for me. He should have been, that's an opinion I have, he should have been playing in that position more years ago, in my opinion.
And just following up on a different player, obviously you've watched back the game and whatnot. What do you make of Kaio's debut looking back? Because, he seems to be a player that always wants to go forward. He's pushing the ball forward. What do you make of those attributes, and how will you look to take advantage of that going forward?
Yeah, I think it's unfair if we judge Kaio based on one game, because he just arrived. He doesn't even know Vancouver. He's never been in Vancouver. He came straight to Utah. We accelerated the process to put him on the field. We didn't feel comfortable to play him as one of the 2 midfielders because of the place he was physically. So we tried to protect him in playing more of a 3-man midfield with rotation and him with freedom to come and get the ball in deeper spots. I think that he's very busy. He wants the ball. He's a player that wants the ball. He's a player that wants to give rhythm to the team. He's one of our midfielders that looks forward. Like you said, he's looking to play that pass forward. And sometimes he even exaggerates in it, so he could even become better there. But I'm sure that when he's going to be, when he's going to understand what the MLS is about, what our club is about, and he's going to be adapted to everything here, he's just going to grow as a player. So I don't even think we saw 50% of a player like Caio. I still think he's going to grow a lot. He needs adaptation, and that's important when you just arrived not long ago, not even a month ago, to a club.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Go to Josh.
Hi, Mark. Happy Wednesday. I was just wondering if we could get a quick update on Leonard Owusu and Eric Godoy's training this week.
Eric Godoy and Leo trained today. They didn't do the full training session, but for sure that they are in a place that they might, who knows, they could be an option against Montreal, if not be an option against Minnesota. But it's kind of day to day with them. They're training. They participated in 75% of training today. That's a good step. Hopefully tomorrow they could do the full session and Friday the full session, but it's really day by day. With Baldi, there was a little bit of a setback. I knew that he wasn't at 100% to play this game, but we still brought him in because of the qualities that he brings. We still put him in the play, but with the play that he had with Price of Colorado, he felt a little bit still an injury, so we had to keep him off today. And with the Baldi, it's day by day also.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Josh. We'll now go to Har.
Hey, Mark, how are you doing today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing good as well. Just to go back to the refereeing at the beginning of the Zoom, I think Michael asked a few weeks ago about the team scouting referees, and you kind of went into that a little bit with us. Were you expecting maybe a stop and start and a disruption to the game with all the VAR stuff that happened? Was that something the team kind of maybe thought could play out in the game? No,
we didn't speak about when we speak is we try to speak a little bit, give some feedback on the referee, but not on the person that is at the VAR. We don't talk about that he might stop it with and that, because the players in the dynamic of the game, they're so focused with the game, they're not thinking about if VAR is going to call something back. Me with VAR, what I say, I've been told, and what I read about it, it has to be a clear and obvious mistake. If the penalty shot is a clear and obvious mistake, the way Acosta had his hands around Caio, well, you can't call fouls anymore, because I'm sure if that foul was in the midfield, they would have called the foul in a heartbeat. The thing is that foul was in the 18-yard box, 10 minutes to go, and penalty shot for Vancouver. Maybe, it was uncomfortable for somebody to call it.
Bruno Gaspar has come on in the last two games as a sub, played a few minutes out there. I'm wondering, how is his match day fitness? When do you think he maybe will be able to go maybe 45 or 60 minutes in a game?
Yeah, we're evaluating week by week. Bruno is a player that was behind when it comes to match rhythm. So it's a process. And the way the players arrive there so late with the group, we're still in the process with these players. So I can give you a timeline. I hope that he's going to be able to start in one of these three games because we're going to need to have fresh legs. But again, we'll only do that if we feel that Bruno has the rhythm to go.
Finally, from me, is there any positive new news with Ali Adnan's visa situation?
It's incredibly frustrating. It's frustrating. I can't say anything, every coach wants to work with all his players, and no, the news, I don't know. I don't have news.
All right, thanks, Mark. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Har. We'll now move to questions in French, starting with Michel.
Bonjour Marc, salutations de Montréal, ça va bien?
Bonjour, ça va bien et vous?
Très, très bien, merci. Marc, j'aimerais que vous me parliez de votre équipe depuis le début de la saison. Quel est à quoi on peut s'attendre des Whitecaps et de cette rencontre-là face à l'Impact? À l'Impact,
Ben,
pardon.
ouais, face à l'Impact, non, hein?
Non, fini.
Non, fini. Essaye, là, sois fort. mais, mais moi aussi, chaque fois que je parle avec mon staff, j'utilise tellement le mot impact, ça va me prendre un peu de temps. Mais on est une équipe qui a eu une pré-saison très difficile. On a une équipe qu'on a eu beau. On était le club qui avait le plus de joueurs avec l'équipe olympique. Puis on avait aussi 3 joueurs avec l'équipe nationale. Donc déjà là, on avait 8 joueurs avec l'Olympique et la première équipe qui n'étaient pas présents. On avait des joueurs comme Ali, Kai ou Bruno qui n'étaient pas présents non plus à cause de situations de visa. Donc, notre pré-saison au mois de mars, c'est une pré-saison qu'on a utilisée pour te donner une idée, 14 joueurs de notre académie. Et c'était inconfortable préparer l'équipe. Mais quand on est arrivé à Utah, on a réussi à fermer le groupe un peu plus. On a réussi à avoir tout le monde qui était en équipe nationale de retour. Les joueurs auxquels on attendait le visa, ils ont tous reçu le visa, ils sont arrivés à part Ali Adnan. Ali, c'est un joueur que il est à Vancouver depuis janvier, puis maintenant on est en mai, puis il n'est pas avec l'équipe encore. Donc, c'est très frustrant, cette situation-là. Mais je pense que dans tout, on a eu un bon début de saison avec une bonne victoire contre Portland à la maison. À la maison, non, dans un terrain neutre à Salt Lake, où on joue nos matchs à domicile, appelons-le de même. Puis après, on est allé faire un bon résultat à l'extérieur contre Toronto à Orlando. La semaine passée, samedi, on a perdu un match qu'on aurait pu annuler, un match serré. Donc, on est une équipe très compétitive qui se bat beaucoup pour tous les ballons, qui est intense dans les moments de pression. Je pense qu'on est rapide dans les moments de transition. Mais une équipe jeune encore, puis une équipe en croissance. On a fait 4 points de nos 9 premiers points possibles et on espère encore faire des points contre Montréal.
Et vous attendez à quoi, justement, à Montréal? C'est une équipe qui a beaucoup changé. Est-ce que vous avez une idée?
Oui, c'est Michel, c'est ça ton nom?
C'est ça, oui.
Michel, je n'aime pas parler trop de qu'est-ce que je m'attends, mais tu peux calculer que on est très attentif, on regarde leurs matchs, on sait à quoi s'attendre, mais j'aime pas trop parler publiquement sur les forces ou les faiblesses de Montréal parce que je sais que Willy m'écoute, puis Willy sait que moi, je l'écoute. Donc, on est 2 entraîneurs que je pense qu'on est préparés. On prépare nos équipes. Tu l'as bien dit, Montréal, c'est une équipe qui a beaucoup de nouveaux joueurs, mais beaucoup de nouveaux joueurs très intéressants qui ont de la qualité. Ils ont de l'expérience. Ils ont quand même un groupe de joueurs qui a beaucoup d'expérience dans l'équipe, qui est ensemble depuis l'année passée. Je pense que Will a fait un bon travail en gardant certaines idées de l'année passée. Probablement, Will, il va changer peu à peu en amenant de plus en plus ses idées. Mais on est très attentif à ce que Montréal est et on connaît Montréal et on sait à quoi s'attendre.
Et juste à la fin, un petit mot sur Maxime Crépeau, son début de saison, ça se passe bien?
Ça fait 3 ans que chaque fois que je parle de Montréal, Maxime, vous me demandez. Mais oui, ça se passe bien. Il a connu un très bon match contre Colorado, mais je le répète ici, je l'ai dit souvent, Maxime est avec un groupe de gardiens de but qui le pousse beaucoup. Maxime est très bon. Thomas Hassal est très bon aussi. Evan Newton est très bon gardien aussi. Donc, je pense que Max il est dans un environnement qui sait qu'il doit pousser à chaque jour. Puis quand Max il pousse à chaque entraînement, il devient meilleur et il devient meilleur. Et c'est là qu'il grandit en tant que gardien de but. Je pense qu'il a connu un très bon match contre Colorado. C'est un match solide, le premier contre Portland. Donc, on espère qu'il peut continuer comme ça.
Merci, Marc.
Merci beaucoup, Michel.
Merci, Michel. And one last one from Max. Go ahead, Max.
Bonjour Marc, comment ça va?
Bonjour, ça va, Max, et toi?
Ouais, ça va. Sur le match de Colorado, le coup franc, c'était la seule différence, même si les Whitecaps ont eu beaucoup de chance et de possession. Est-ce que le dernier match, ça a montré que le foot, c'est un sport qui se joue avec de très petits détails?
Oui, c'est un très bon point que tu as amené, Max. Je pense que nous, on est encore un peu triste qu'on est sorti du match sans points. On pense qu'on méritait au moins un point. Mais je pense que il y a certains matchs contre certaines équipes qui jouent d'une certaine façon, qui amènent le match à jouer sur certains détails. Et Colorado est une équipe de transition. Colorado est une équipe qui mise beaucoup sur les situations de ballon arrêté. Et nous, on savait que l'équipe qui allait faire une erreur ou donner un ballon comme ça allait payer un prix. Je pense quand même qu'on a assez créé pour annuler au moins le match. Mais c'est comme ça. Tu dois avancer et tu dois penser au prochain match. Au moins, qu'est-ce que je dis, c'est si on perd un match, on doit se perdre en se battant, on doit le perdre en créant des occasions, on doit le perdre par des détails, comme tu dis, et pas le perdre parce qu'on a complètement lâché et l'adversaire marque 2, 3, 4 buts. On ne veut pas être ça. Nous, on veut être compétitif et dans chaque match. Et on espère qu'on va arriver contre Montréal et être aussi compétitif.
Merci Marc.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci, Max. Thank you, everyone. That wraps up today's media availability. If you need anything else, please let us know at the communications department. Thank you.